Okay, students, I think we can start the class. Around 48 minus 1, 47 students are there. Still 13 students have to join. Okay, let them join. After that, we'll stop joining. Okay, dear students, I hope you had a nice lunch and a nice break also. You are ready to speak and you are ready to discuss. That's what I expect. Dear students, more participation is needed, either in the chat box or in open discussion. Okay, you can chat. I'm able to see chat messages, but from your side, no chat is coming. Not now, during the discussion. When I am asking the question, try to answer. I think most of them are not ready to answer because of the fear. You are all MBA graduates. You are able to discuss. Otherwise, subject is not interesting. Okay, with this small note, we will start the class. And today's discussion is about, once again, the Indian financial system. We have already discussed the meaning of Indian financial system. Today, we are going to conclude with the historical events held in Indian financial system, especially in the form of the Indian economic system. And finally, you are able to say about clearly what are all the different components in the Indian financial system. That is my aim. Okay, are you ready? Come on.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
if
sir.
Neeraj is making sound? Two girls, what others are doing? Brother Dominic, where you are? No sound is coming.
Yes, sir. Ready.
Good. Somebody from C section. Usually Kiran will be there. Kiran? Oh. Then that Rachida, you can change your name. First your roll number, then your name. Once again, when I am entering the attendance, some of the students, they logged in through your personal mail ID. For them, I am unable to give the attendance. I have seen in last two classes. So be ready. You can change your name as well as everything. As well as if you are in different login, log in through our college mail ID. Okay. Who is from the Joel Paul? Why you are silent today? Ready? Can see. Rachel, the sound is not coming. I hope you had a very big lunch. Anyhow, try to participate. I expect more participation. Okay. We'll start with the reflections. What happened in the previous class? I hope you are able to recall what we discussed in the previous class. In the previous class, we have defined the financial system. I asked you a nice.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, my mic got stuck in between. You called me.
Okay, ma, good. When I am calling anybody, you have to respond. Okay, good.
Yes, sir, I was here. All of a sudden, I tried clicking, but it was not getting unmuted.
Okay, ma, no issues. Good.
Okay, sir.
So in previous class, we discussed with this concept of very old classical definition. But now everything changed. That what we are going to discuss today. Financial system definition, we have discussed what in those days we used to call it a set of institutions, instruments, and markets. These are all the three pillars in Indian financial system. I asked one question about the German system. Few students tried their best level. And I'm happy to see that some of them clearly mention cooperative system of financing also. That is the one of the pillar in case of German. That is why I asked. Remaining things are same as in India, but in case of German, still they are having a very good foundation for cooperative banks. The financial system is consists of cooperative financial model. You are seeing the cooperative banks in case of India also. But that is very, very strong in case of German. That is why particularly I asked the question about Germany. Few students are able to answer nicely. Good, I appreciate them. And today we are going to see this financial system. So I already shared one news, one basic concept, then 2 videos also. How far today's the financial system is changing? I had sent the discussion with the former Reserve Bank of India governors. A nice discussion with the former RBI governors. And one of the video has been taken recently, that is interview with former RBI Governor Rangarajan has been taken recently. That also I showed to you. He clearly mentioned the economic activity held as well as the how far our Indian economy has changed during last 60 years. He nicely brings that one. I hope everybody has seen that one. Any comments from that video? Even though there is no answer in our group, come on, anybody can comment. Based upon the discussions with these Reserve Bank of India governors, past governors, what do you think about the present Indian financial system? Don't worry whether your answer is right or wrong. Come on, just 1 or 2 students, come on. Quick. Then I will ask name. Who is going to answer? Come on. Yes,
So there were a few steps taken by the RBI, like issuing moratorium during the first wave of COVID. I think that was a really good step in the like helping the financial institutions and the people.
Okay, good. Neeraj is telling about the current system nicely in few words. Good. Come on, any other students? Quick. What happened? Pramod. Then I think our friend will tell. Laldi Sangha. What happened? Ritvij. So I have to consider all these students because that is why I'm recording all these things. This recording will be available in your LMS also. So that if you are not responding, you can see my analytics, how it will consider your activity participation. Only Neeraj is answering. I don't know what happened. Okay, anyhow, we'll see. Neeraj clearly mentioned what is happening at the present in case of Indian economic system due to this COVID. Same thing, the Reserve Bank of India governor clearly mentioned. Once upon a time, the government has to protect the people. They have to monitor only the cash inflows and outflows of the country. Today, we are going to discuss the historical events. Even if you go through the entire historical events, as pointed out by the Rangarajan in his video, a nice video. It clearly says that in those days, the financial system means the basic thing is printing the currency notes or making the money. Then they used to give importance for savings and investment. You might have seen in olden days, more importance have been given for savings. Only if you people is say ready to save, that amount will be converted into investment and most of them will invest in business. That's what savings and investment. They used to give more importance for the savings than investments. Then comes the concept of markets, especially the capital markets. So the financial system in those days are very much concerned with the capital procurement stages, but not now. Nowadays, everything is changed. It has not been mentioned in any books. That is why I'm posting the news every day. You can see the Reserve Bank of India is also saying that if you gone through this news given by the present RBI governor just 2 days back, what he is mentioning, financial system can take lead in creating conditions for the economy. See that one, once upon a time, where to get money, they used to identify, they used to procure. But nowadays, it is not like that. Creating conditions for the economy, what Neeraj is mentioned clearly. At present, due to this COVID pandemic, everybody is struggling in different manner. So the financial system objective has been changed. It changed from the traditional system of savings and investment to the recovery mode. Be clear. So the main core aim in those days is procuring finance, managing money, that's all. But now it is not like that. You can see in this news what I have shared with you. Now the financial system aim is creating a recovery system. They are going to put some conditions. We have to recover. See that one. Recovery in the sense, it means that how we are able to stabilize our loss and recoup with the new methods of financing. Be clear. Recovery never means that we are going back. It is not like that. We are going to find new opportunities to get rid of these type of pandemic situation. That is the present economic scenario. So financial system changed, in my view. That is why all the newspapers are reporting in a different situation. After seeing the RBI report clearly, the Indian view has changed fully. How to create the conditions, how we can make a recovery system. That is the core thing now. Dear students, in this background, we are going to discuss the concept of the very historical events. And even I think one of the students, Jetlin, he clearly mentioned due to pandemic, the RBI has advised the bank to hold back the installments on term loans for 3 months. Nice. That is, you can see, Jetlin also clearly mentioned what is the role taken by the Reserve Bank of India for the recovery system. So now the core aim of financial system is different because of this COVID pandemic. So in this juncture, we will see the tradition. Of course, history is not essential, but to understand the changes and transformation process, you must know the historical events. That is why first part today we are going to discuss the history of Indian financial system. Based upon that, you are going to judge what are all the components of the Indian financial system. The basic 5 components of Indian financial system we are going to discuss. So dear students, first we will move on to the history of Indian financial system. What our financial system is saying. This is the very old story. We are going to study the financial system history only for the purpose of knowing the transformation stage. Be clear. That is our aim. You can see in this slide, when it was mentioned, the financial system of India has been mentioned in a different manner. It is considered about the allocation and mobilization of savings. That is the historical one. The classical things in finance. How we are going to allocate, how we are going to save the money, why we are going to save the money. If people are saving the money and depositing in banks, that amount can be utilized for the investment. We can give that amount in the form of loan and our business stream will increase. That is the purpose. Basic things in those days, how we are going to allocate and mobilization of savings. This is a very nice example. Even in your personal finance, you are saving money. You are getting money from your dad and mom or grandma nicely. And why you are saving the money? Maybe your aim is to buy some new asset for you. Maybe for buying a new mobile. It is also coming under the financial resource mobilization of you. You will plan. You may have a nice dream. Our Joel Paul may have a nice dream to buy a mobile phone cost rupees just 2.5 lakhs. So what our Joel Paul will decide? He decided to save money. Either he can get the money from his parents or grandparents, or he can use some other methods by working and getting the money. So the main aim of Joel Paul is procuring the money with the help of savings. He used to save money. He is having a dream mission to buy 2.5 lakhs worth of mobile phone. Where is Joel Paul? Joel Paul, you are there? I think he is nicely sleeping. So see that one. Then the provision of funds. These are all considered as the classical financial models in those days. If you want to study the historical events in India, you have to study in the three phases. First one, very old system, that is before Indian independence. Then very important thing, after the independence, the banks from up to 1969. Then 1969 to 1991, very nice period. You might have seen what happened in 1969. Come on, it is mentioned in the slide. What happened in the 1969? Major reforms in India. Yes, Shailesh. Shailesh is now. Come on. Yashwant. What happened? Midun. Jacob Matthew. No answer. Okay, then our brother will tell. Dominic Matthew.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is the main event happened in 1969?
Nationalization of banks.
Good. Yes, that's what I expect. It is given there. Good. You can see. Our brother Dominic clearly mentioned. Very, very important stage. The turning point in the Indian financial system. 1969. That is nationalization of banks. Then 1991, once again, because of the concept of liberalization, the entire financial system has changed. Only because of liberalization, you are able to get the nice mobile phones now from different countries. Otherwise, still we can't use any mobile phones. That is also very interesting study. So when we are seeing the difference, when we are studying the historical events of the banks and the money system, monetary system, or financial system, or even Indian economy, it is classified like this. You'll see some of the events held back very olden days. Before 1951, you can go back in Jantar Mantar and say back what happened in those days. In those days, how the system was like that. You can see even after the independence, still the Republic of India, everything was controlled by money lenders. There were no laws, even though there are laws that is simply relating to the British period, and all the laws are concentrated on the empowering the British people, not Indians. Regulatory bodies are also concerned with the UK system, that is England system, because we were under their control. And they used to give importance for only few industries. Of course, infrastructure is very important. They given very importance for the infrastructure. And most of the Indians were concentrated on agriculture. Even now, everybody is thinking about the agriculture. But those days were different. There were no securities market. Everything we have to depend upon what is the rate in London. I think some of you have seen very old film, Gandhi film like that. In those days, they used to depend upon whatever the situation, they are waiting for the letters from London. And there were no institutions for financing. They have to depend upon the money lenders. And very important thing, the savings were restricted in those days. If they wish to save, how they used to save? They used to put the money in big baskets, and they used to put all the money, they used to keep everything under one of the tree, so that they will save some golden coins, but there won't be any interest. That was the very, very olden system. They used to call it as hard money loans and traditional loans. Even now there is a scheme called hard money and traditional loans. But in those days, everything is controlled by the hard money, the money lending system. Even now, some of the places you can see this type of hard money system. In case of hard money loans, no large down payment. Whatever the money they used to give in the form of security. But traditional loans, it is not like that. They are asking some security. Then only they will give the loan. That is the traditional system. Hard money, it is not like that. They used to see the face of the person and the relationship and their behavior. Based upon that, loans will be given. But now it is not like that. Whoever the person, they are asking money. They are asking security for providing the money. On which basis you will give the money, on which basis loan can be provided. That is why in case of banking system, even now you might have seen, if you want to borrow money from a bank, or if you want to get a loan from a bank, they are asking security. At the same time, you are depositing money in a bank. You are not asking any security. Why? Anybody? Come on. If you are depositing money in a bank, you are not asking a security from the bank. You never ask, give me gold chain or anything. At the same time, if you are borrowing money from the bank is asking some security. Why?
So because banks have a regulatory body above them.
Good. You are 91% correct. Regulatory bodies. Be clear. Any other answer? I think some of you have studied banking in undergraduate level. Banker and customer relationship. Yes, come on. Neeraj mentioned one nice example. What happened?
Sir, even when we fixed deposit some money, they will give some bonds.
Come on, Kiran. So what you are saying, they are asking money or bond.
Sir, when we deposit some money in the bank,
Hmm.
in return they will give some bonds, sir. FD bonds.
Bonds. Good. So I think Kiran is very much interested with the law. You study the legal aspects of law. Consideration for your deposits. According to Kiran, we are depositing money in the bank. For that, they are giving a simple document as a consideration. Okay, Kiran, you are also 91% correct. That is one sort of relationship. Who studied BCom with banking? Some of you might have studied banking in undergraduate level. They are able to answer this question correctly. Why? Robin will tell something. Robin. What? Some name. Deepak.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You tell me answer for that one. Your opinion. Deepak, if you are depositing money in bank, you are not asking any security. At the same time, if you are borrowing money from the bank, they are asking security. Why?
Sir, because banks are regulatory bodies and we might fail to repay them, but as they are the regulatory bodies, we have a passbook. That's why, sir, because they do the entry of we depositing the money. So because they're a regulatory body, they don't have. I mean, they don't have to give us any proof or anything that they will repay, but we'll have to do because we might not repay the money, sir.
Okay, good. He supported Deepak nicely supported the views of the first person, Neeraj. Okay, good. So,
Sir,
but
and
yes, come
even-
on. Kiran.
Even sir, the banks they need to deposit some money with the RBI, namely called SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, like that, sir. So
For SLR and CRR.
yes, sir.
Good, Kiran. So Kiran is mentioning some technical things. Good. For SLR and CRR, banks needs money. If you are depositing money, all the deposits won't be stayed or deposited in the same bank. The bank has to give to the Reserve Bank of India in the form of CLR and statutory liquidity ratio, SLR. That's what Kiran is saying. Okay, good. That is the regulatory thing. See that one in those days, since there was an absence of regulatory authorities, the money lender played more role. Whoever gave the loan to anybody, they are asking security. But when the banks have been created, everything went on in a different manner. That is what the thing. Even some of the students mentioned banks are governed by RBI. That is the reason, okay? We'll see at the end. Then from 1951 to 1990, of course, in between this thing, the nationalization of banks. So in 1948, the Reserve Bank of India has been legally established. Before that, it was not considered as the Reserve Bank of India. You can see the State Bank of India was the very, very old one. You can go through the historical events of the banks. Even in 17th century, there were banks in India, which is having its headquarters in Kolkata first, then in Mumbai, then in Chennai. These are the three very, very old banks. Now you can't see those banks. Then all these three banks were converted into Imperial Bank, and the Imperial Bank was statutorily recognized as the State Bank of India. The Reserve Bank, before the regime of Indian independence in the 1935, it was established, but legal protection as per the present laws, it has been created and established in 1948. Another important factor is Life Insurance Corporation. You can see in those days when we visit Chennai, you used to see, oh, this is a very tall building, LIC building. It was very famous. What is the relationship between life insurance corporations? Whether we need LIC, that is another question. Why LIC is coming under the Indian economy? Anybody? Come on. Why Life Insurance Corporation is coming under our Indian financial system? That is my question. Santosh? Santosh Babu?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Santosh, come on. Do you know about the Life Insurance Corporation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, good.
Sir, because there
Hmm.
is a lot of savings of the people, sir. So
Hmm.
they can make use of the money for the investments.
Hmm.
So maybe that it's coming under financial system.
Good. Absolutely correct. You are 100% correct. So you can see the answer from the Santosh. The Life Insurance Corporation was established anyhow in customer's point of view. He assumed that it is going to save the lives of the people and it is for insurance. It is not like that. From the economy side, what our Santosh mentioned is correct. We are paying the premium to the life insurance company and they are depositing. And it is considered as the savings. Because of that savings, Life Insurance Corporation is even now investing in different business and increasing the economy of India. That is the core concept of insurance. So you can see in the year 1956, Indian government recognized the Life Insurance Corporation. So what happened? The insurance corporations also joined with the concept of financial system. Life Insurance Corporation is considered as a financial institution. Then, of course, very important thing, 1969, the concept of nationalization. Why the then Prime Minister nationalized the banks? That is also very important thing. So you can see the Life Insurance Corporation, how it emerged. But the reason was entirely different in 1969, because if from 1951 onwards, India was following the 5 years plan. I think some of you know, even in school, you might have studied the 5-year planning system, which was followed in India. When the 5-year plans were success, and in first 5-year plan was success, second they are given less important, so some failure they faced. Likewise, when the 5-year plans were clearly planned and projected, the banks are ready to provide loan, and most of the banks, they used to lend their friends indirectly. It means if you are working in ICICI Bank, you will give loan to your friends only. That is the concept followed by the most of the private banks, even the nationalized bank in those days. The bank managers are empowered because, you know, it is considered as a regulatory authority. Since the banks are coming under the regulatory authority, they have to provide funds. And 5 years plans were very well planned. First 5-year plan is for agriculture, then industrial revolution, all these things they planned well. But when the third, fourth plan was said to be indirectly failure, then they thought about why the industrial revolution is not going to happen in India. In case of India, the banks are providing good savings. More savings are available in banks. More savings are available in life insurance corporation. Even then, why people are not ready to come forward to take the new business? Why new business are not coming? Why the industries are unable to come? When they used to discuss, they clearly identified that these banks are providing loans to their own members. The reason, of course, maybe the Germany system. There the cooperative system was said to be very successful. Based upon that one, Indian banks were providing the funds to only a specific group of people, not to everyone. To control that one, the then Prime Minister of India, she decided, if you convert all these banks into a nationalized banks, then all the banks will come under direct purview of Reserve Bank of India, that is the monetary system. And finance minister is having the power to fix the guidelines under the fiscal policy. The purpose is to create priority lending system. In those days, before nationalization, they used to provide loans only to the urban city. Rural people won't get the loan. Agriculturists never get the loan because it was not coming under the priority list. Once it becomes nationalized, what happened? The government under the fiscal policy fixed the norms and regulations for the banks. To whom you have to finance, not your friends. They fixed priority lending. The concept of priority lending comes either it is for the agriculture sector or export business, whatever it may be. The government fixed norms. Only for that main purpose, they created the concept of nationalization of banks. Then comes the export credit corporations. This is an ECGC, export credit and guarantee corporations. The government plans to give importance for the export because each and every country's economy is based upon the trade with other countries. That is the reason why the government decided to boost up the exports. The savings what the people are providing, even they decided to give for exports, to increase the exports, to empower the export promotion. That was the later on stage. Number of export businesses have been established, ECGC, then the DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade, all these came into existence because they wish to know what is the value for money. Only if we export, we are able to earn foreign exchange. Otherwise, we can't. That is why to improve our foreign exchange market, now we are calling as forex markets. To improve the forex markets, they gave importance for the exporting. ECGC and more export promotion councils were established. Yes, maybe. Then they came into the different regulations in the form of different act. Might have seen the Companies Act. Of course, it was amended recently in 2013. Then the Capital Issues Act, Controller of Capital Issues Act. Now we are not having that act to regulate the stock exchanges. Then the Security Exchange Act, Foreign Exchange Act, MRTP Act. Now you can't see all these act, of course. In those days, till the period of Jawaharlal Nehru, they used to give importance for control of capital issues. That was considered as the regulatory body for the stock exchanges. But in the 1991, everything changed. The State Finance Corporation was established. The Indian economy has changed tremendously after 1969. That is the nationalization of the banks. You might have seen that one. That was considered as the milestone in any banking. And the control of 85% of the bank deposits are made mandatory in the country. Previously, only State Bank was considered as the nationalized bank, but now it is not like that. What somebody mentioned, SLR, CRR, these are all made mandatory only after the nationalization. And the fund should be provided to the people based upon the government norms, because all the banks are said to be nationalized. So by this time, in 1969, the entire financial system was like this. That is, the government has taken over the ownership of financial institutions. Second part, institutional structures have been established, especially Life Insurance Corporation, Unit Trust of India. All these organizations are set up to empower the financing function. The savings from these institutions has been taken over the control by the government. Then the investors' protection. For them, they introduced the Companies Act, Capital Issues Act, Foreign Exchange Act, MRTP, Monopoly Restricted Trade Practices Act. All these acts came into force. This was the old financial system which was followed in 1969. Then the major changes from 1990s, especially in the era of 1992, the then finance minister, later on he became the prime minister, that is Manmohan Singh period, he decided to move towards the liberalization. Because of the liberalization era, the entire banking system has been once again re-established for the purpose of measuring the capital infusions and rating. Credit rating agencies has been established, ICRA, Fitch. So they used to give importance for the investors and investors protection. In the year 1992, even because of the biggest scam in those days, Harshad Mehta scam. We will discuss the scam as a case study when we are discussing the capital market also. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has been established to control over the entire capital market, which includes BSE, NSE. See that one, major changes. Security Exchange Board has been established. So by this time, the capital market has been regulated, and capital market in 1992 onwards came into the regulatory authority of Security Exchange Board of India. So from that period onwards, we faced different type of banking system. Because of the liberalization stage, the focus moved towards the private sector banks, and the banking system and banks are expected to move towards the universal banking, that is global banking. That is why from that period onwards, the credit card system, the money transfers, Indian banks joined with the global banks. Universal banking system has been established. The core banking activities have been established. By that time, a new changes. That was the tremendous thing what happened during the 1990s. You can see in 1996, a depository act has been established. The stock market operations have been legalized and dematerialization happened by that time. So everything changed. The reason was due to liberalization. And by the 1991, you can see the Indian financial system. It was like that. The banking system was considered as the topmost one, of course, controlled by the RBI, followed by the some other or new financial institutions, that is development financial corporations. All these things comes, non-banking financial corporations. They used to run the background of finance. Then they used to call it as markets, financial markets. See that one, the establishment of financial market term has been used in Indian economy by 1992. Till then, they never called as financial markets. Of course, in other countries, they used to call as financial market because everything is determined in the capital market, either BSE or NSE or in India INX. So this is the system followed in those days, that is 1991. Then come into the new financial system from the year 2000 onwards, the change in the millennium, especially from 2000 to 2014 and tremendous changes from 2016 onwards. Everybody wished to change the financial system and they used to bring in an organized structure. They used to call it as financial intermediaries. If anybody wishes to start a business, they need money. For that purpose, the banks or any institution are going to act as an intermediary. For that purpose, the asset finance corporations and housing finance corporations, these organizations have been established and their functions and role has been re-established as a financial intermediary. Then only the financial markets, you can see the concept. Financial markets have been classified into the major headings. Money market, that is the Reserve Bank is having the full control as the regulatory body. All the banks are coming under this money market. Then the capital market, the Security Exchange Board of India. SEBI is going to control over the capital market operations because they are having the control over NSE, BSE. Next, the financial instruments. Very, very new things. They used to call it as financial instruments or assets. I already told. Whatever the document, somebody told, if you deposit in a bank, the banks are giving you the FD receipt. That is an instrument. Simple thing. Why you are depositing money? What they are giving an FD receipt. That is the financial instrument. Dear students, you must know. If you are buying a share certificate is considered as the financial instrument. If you are buying a bond, the bond is considered as the financial instrument. The documents or the services used to get the money is called the financial instrument. It can be marketable. That is a very important thing. New financial instruments have been established, derivatives, bonds, etc. New things are coming upon. Even now you can see the economy is moving in a different direction. We are seeing different financial instruments. So you can see by the 2000, that is the millennium year begins till 2014, the Indian financial system was entirely different. We used to call it as financial intermediaries, financial markets, then the financial instruments. Financial instruments means if you are able to sell any documents and procure finance, it is considered as a financial instrument. If you are having a share certificate, you can sell. Sagar is having a nice certificate from the ACC Siemens. Sagar purchased once upon a time around 2000 certificates. Now Sagar is ready to sell to somebody. Sagar may sell to Sahana or he may sell to anybody and he can get the money. So the shares or the securities of the ACC Siemens owned by Sagar is considered as a financial instrument. It is marketable. Be clear. It is marketable. Sagar is having the financial instruments. That is certificate. That certificate either in dematerialized form or in materialized form, Sagar is able to market. He can sell. Sagar might have purchased once upon a time for 500 rupees per share, but now Sagar is ready to sell for 5,000 rupees per share because it is a financial instrument. Be clear that share certificate is considered as a financial instrument. That is the core thing. Dear students, you must understand. So that is the change. Even fixed deposit receipt, you can pledge your fixed deposit receipt as a security and borrow loan. That is why fixed deposit receipt is called as a financial instrument. The loan depends upon the market rate. See that one. So new terms have been emerging. They used to sell and buy the financial instruments. The tremendous changes happened. Then you can see after 2015, anybody is able to see this place, recognize this place quick. Somebody from north. Ritvij, come on. Where the city is located? Come on. What happened once again? Where this gift city is located? Thomas Varghese? Alan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Thomas, come on. Where this gift city is located? Have you seen this one?
Sir, Gujarat.
Yes, Sahana?
Gujarat, sir.
Gujarat, okay. You are absolutely correct. Good. You can see, for the purpose of financing, everything is now changed. In Ahmedabad, nearby Gandhinagar, they established the gift city, fintech city. You can see the change in the finance. Whatever the instruments are available, whatever the things needed for you, if you go there, you can get it. Now, the gift city is coming, already established in Kolkata, and in Bangalore also, it is coming nearby Whitefield. Few of our friends are in nearby Whitefield. They are unable to answer. I think they are not seeing outside. Go and see in Whitefield, in Bangalore, it is coming. Almost all the buildings have been over. The land procured, the building construction over. It is ready for opening. And in my view, 20% already started functioning. See that one. That is the financial services. In those days, we had to go to bank and get the service. But nowadays, it is not like that. To give more value to finance, even the cities have been established. In New Kolkata, you can see the fintech city. In Bangalore, Whitefields. In Gujarat, it is coming in the Ahmedabad. See that one, which includes all the major banks and whatever the services you can get. Even you can convert Indian rupee into US dollar or Turkish lira, whatever it may be the thing. Everything you can get it from the same place. See that one, how our financial services have been improved. We are establishing now the financial cities. Gift city, it is very famous in Gujarat. You can see that one, how far there. That is the changes, what is happening. Another one, you know, in those days, even when I was studying, my professor used to call this the biggest exchange is BSE. BSE is said to be the very old exchange in Asia. Then only it started in case of Singapore. But now, we established in 2017 the India International Exchange, India INX, which is directly controlled by the Bombay Stock Exchange. See that one, how India is moving in a different direction from national level to global level. In 2017, India's first international exchange has been established. We used to call it as India INX. Same thing, where it is there? Pramod? Come on. Pramod will tell. Swati? What happened? Same thing, it is also it is a virtual one. However, it is having its own office in Gift City. See that one, the financial system has been tremendously changing. And you know, recently, from 2020 onwards, once again, the banks are merged. Most of the banks are merged to give more regulatory powers to the bank. Now we are having only 12 public sector banks after the merging. You are seeing in almost the news, and another 2 banks merger is in pipeline. First, they merged the State Bank of India with some other banks. Now, most of the banks are going to be merged to give the full power for the purpose of taking rational decision as a regulatory body. See that one, our financial system is changing. And now, even first time in the history of Indian financial system, e-banks have been permitted, virtual bank have been permitted. You can't see the bank in physical form. You can see the banks in virtual form. First time in the history of Indian banking system and Indian financial system, it has been permitted. The first bank is going to come up. I hope you know. That is today's question. What is the name they are going to give? You can see the global economy is changing, and even our governor of RBI is saying that new monetary policy has been established. The reason is because of the financial crisis, what we faced in 2008 and 9, then the COVID pandemic. Indian growth strategy is moving towards the next phase because they merged and most of the recovery stages started. They used to find out the global banks using the technology called blockchain. That is why now the fintech companies are coming. We used to call it as blockchain in banking. The technologies have been merged. Finance is moving towards fintech. In those days, finance means only the arts group. Now it is not like that. In case of fintech companies, they are asking those who have studied the MBA as well as the BTech. Because the entire banking system is depending upon the fintech, and all the financial literacy mission has been converged in a digital pipeline. If you want to start a new account in a bank, you can do within 2 minutes now. In those days, it takes 2 months. See that one. The digital revolution changed the entire Indian financial system. So you can see the entire government financial networking system has also been merged now. These are all the recent developments. You can see the Mudra, the Stand Up India scheme, Suraksha scheme, Pradhan Mantri Jan scheme, Atal pension scheme, all these have been joined together in case of the digital banking system. So, dear students, the present financial system is moving in a different direction. Now they used to call it as financial institutions on the one hand, and in the another hand, financial markets. That is the basic thing now we are focusing. That is the present scenario. Based upon that, you must know at present, we are having the financial system in the 5 conditions. One is, first component is financial institutions, especially the bank and non-banking system, the LIC, mutual funds, all these things. Then the financial markets, money market, all these things, capital market, all these markets are now available in the GIFT City. Then we discuss the financial instruments, the deposit received, share market price, derivatives, all these things. Coming to the next part, financial services. Due to advancement in technology, new different services are coming. Even if you want to open an account, even if you want to borrow a loan, you can get it within 2 minutes. And some of the banks are saying within a minute you can get it. That is the services. All are now governed with the financial regulators. In case of India, 3 major regulators are there. In future, it may change. So that is the summary of the Indian financial system at the end. So dear students, based upon the transformation stage held in Indian economy as well as the Indian financial system, then the Indian banking system, we have to conclude that at present, our Indian financial system is moving in a different direction in which financial institutions are playing the vital role, and they can deal in the financial markets by buying and selling the financial instruments. They are governed by the financial regulators, and these financial regulators are providing financial services because of the advancement in the new technology. So that is the basic thing at present in case of our financial system. Dear students, you are able to know the components. What are all the financial services? Who are all the regulators? What are all the financial instruments? What are all the financial markets? And who are all the financial institutions they are controlling? If all these things are converged, then it is called as the financial system. That is regarding the today's class. So I hope you are able to conclude clearly what are all the components of the present financial system. In future, it may move in a different direction because the financial services has been changing. It has been added. Now it is changing because of the technology. And within near short term, we are expecting one more additions in the financial system, the public financial system. That is going to come because of the advancement in the technology. That is the present scenario. Okay, with this we will conclude our class. Any questions? Who is going to summarize just in a single line what we discussed today? Anybody just in a line? We'll wind up. Jivida,
Yes, sir.
yes, conclude
So
what
Indian
we have
finance,
discussed.
sir, like allocation and mobilization of savings, provision of funds, and then 5 years plan, then export credit and guarantee program, and then 5 contents are there that are financial institution, financial market, then financial services, financial regulations, then financial instruments.
Okay, good. So as per the Jivida, she clearly concluded how far the transformation moved from one direction to another direction that is needed. Next class onwards, we'll move on to the financial markets. Until then, bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.